Return now to a conversation with David Miscavige. Once again, Ted Koppel.
I'd like to begin, Mr. Miscavige, with, I guess, the kind of broad question that perhaps folks at home may be asking themselves right now, but let me be the guinea pig for a moment. Mm-hmm. See if you can explain to me why I would want to be a Scientologist.
Because you care about yourself and life itself. Scientology, the word means study of life, study of knowledge. And that's what it is. It takes up all areas of life itself. Things that are integral and maxims that are related to life and very existence. Let me give you an example. It's better if I take that because it is such a broad-ranging subject covering so many different areas. The subject of communication. This is something that major breakthroughs exist in Scientology. Being able to communicate in the world around you. And I think everybody would agree that this is an important subject. Well, there's an actual formula for communication which can be understood. You can drill on this formula of communication and learn to drill. But moreover, take the person who has trouble communicating, well, for some reason he can't, anxiety, whatever.
I'll tell you what, let's stick with me, okay? So far in life, I haven't had a whole lot of trouble communicating. Now, see if you can communicate to me what it is that you're going to be able to do for me that makes me a better communicator.
Well, in Scientology, you don't do anything for somebody else. Scientology is something that requires somebody's active participation.
Then, fine.
Certainly, let me explain something.
I want to participate. I want to be active.
Okay, what in your life, Ted, what in your life do you not feel is right that you would like handled?
I feel perfectly comfortable with my life. I like my job. I'm happy with my family. I love my wife. I'm healthy. I'm perfectly content. That's why I'm asking you, what is it you can do for me?
Well, number one, I would never try to talk you into that Scientology is for you. You see, that's the funny thing about this, is if I'm now going to give a sales pitch to you on Scientology, believe me, Scientology is valuable enough that it doesn't require any sales pitch. But let's look at it this way, then, what Scientology does. If you look out across the world today, you could say that if you take a person who's healthy, doing well, like yourself, you'd say that that person is normal, not a crazy, not somebody who's a psychotic. You look at a wall and they call it an elephant. Would you agree with me on that?
So far, I got no problem.
Okay, and you can see people below that. Right. And crazy people, criminals, that I think society in general will look at and say that breed of person hasn't something quite right because they're not up to this level of personality. You can understand that. Well, we in Scientology are not, you see, all past attempts have been to bring man up to somebody's standard of what's normal. What we're trying to do in Scientology is take somebody from this higher level and move them up to greater ability. You see, we're interested in...
What about those folks down there?
Well, yes, no, we don't ignore them, but my point is this. Scientology is there to help the able become more able. The guy who's going around, he's working, he's trying to make it. These people generally have something in their life that they would like to improve. And in any event, if you can increase that person's ability, the one who's chipping in, the one who's able, and bring him up higher, the sphere of influence that he affects in the world around him can be much greater, and he can get on and do better.
Now, Mr. Miscavige, when you and I talked the first time, a few months ago, I said to you I was going to come after you on some of these issues. I am a cynic by nature. I guess that's why I like being a reporter. Mm-hmm. What you have described to me there fits perfectly with the image that I have of Scientology, namely, you're interested in folks who are producing. Mm-hmm. Another way of saying that is you're interested in folks who've got money and who can pay to work their way up the Scientology ladder.
That's where you missed the point, because in fact, you know, this subject of money comes up, but you've got the wrong issue there. The subject of money is, where's it going? You see, another part that isn't in that piece, the money in Scientology isn't going to me, it's not going to my colleagues. That's a fact. That's a fact. You can call up the IRS and find that fact out. They've audited our records and seen all of that, and none of that money is going anywhere. As a matter of fact, the officials in the church are paid far less and live far more frugal existences than any other church leader. Our money goes to social causes that we accept. You take these people, we are the largest social reform group in the world. We do far more than any other church. For the last 2 years, we've been voted the Community Outreach Group of the Year in Los Angeles.
By whom?
By the local city council. The Senate of California passed a resolution. That's for our work with underprivileged children in California. We work on getting drug addicts off drugs. We support Narconon, which is Drug Rehabilitation Center, using the drug rehabilitation technology of L. Ron Hubbard. There are 33 centers around the world. Over 100,000 people have been gotten off drugs. We sponsor educational programs. Several years ago, in just one instance, we worked with...
I don't want to minimize any of that, but how does that make your group, how did you put it, that you do more to help...
Social reform.
Social reform than any other group in the world? More than the Catholic Church?
More accurately is per size. And when you put it in that rate, in other words, how big Scientology is compared to any others, the amount that we do on that subject, there's not even anybody comparable.
Okay, we've got to take a break. We'll continue our discussion with David Miscavige in a moment.